Let's begin this instructional video on advanced portfolio settings by displaying Unfair Advantage, or UA's default preferences. We can access preferences via the Preferences icon at the top of the page. Clicking on the icon opens a box that allows us to see various settings that are used as defaults when creating a new portfolio. Other general settings are available here as well. Let's run through each section briefly, describing what is contained in each. Here is where your account information is detailed, with your ID, the types of data you're subscribed to receive, the number of years provided, and the number of symbols you can export to your personal databases. The first settings section, General Preferences, contains custom settings, which tell UA how to present data, whether to have it check for updates, how to display icons, or other general settings. The next section, Data Distribution 1, contains settings to customize the way you want UA to handle certain events. Typically, the defaults are used. Data Distribution 2 contains settings that allow you to have certain reports displayed after each update, such as a roll or delist report, advanced decline report, or a general update report. For more information, refer to the Help section provided with the product. The Backup Scheduling section allows you to schedule UA to back up your portfolio and your database. There's a pull-down menu that contains the schedule options available, and a second line that indicates in which directory they will be saved. These are made available through the Portfolio Restore feature. Most users won't need to change the defaults in the last three sections: Advanced, Market Specs, and AMI Broker Database. But if you do, use the Help button at the bottom to access the program's Help section. The Download Preferences section allows you to set up an automated download at particular times. Most customers use the Internet option. The default or preset values are recommended. The next section is Charting Preferences, where default settings are used when creating a new portfolio. They're also used when charting to specify how data is to be presented. Here you'll find settings to specify whether to automatically chart symbols in your chart portfolio when UA opens, whether to abbreviate the chart title, what zoom settings to use as default, and whether you want some spacing along the right margin. The rest are detailed in Help and can be left as default. The Cache Saturdays section gives you options for collecting data. The Historical Adjustments settings are directly used when creating a new portfolio. They instruct UA on whether to adjust the data presented. With futures, it's recommended to apply adjustments that account for market changes such as contract sizes, which have occurred over time. With stocks, these settings instruct UA to present the data split adjusted, dividend adjusted, and proportionally adjusted. The Aggregate Method settings instruct UA how to construct weekly, monthly, quarterly, and other periods. The Ranging section instructs UA whether to use pricing as reported or to fix up any outlying prices. The Rounding section instructs UA whether to round prices to the nearest tick, typically affecting continuous contracts, whose computed pricing may not exceed tick boundaries. Under Back Adjusting, CSI recommends using its Advanced Back Adjuster. Now that we've covered the general preferences, let's move on to the new portfolio we created in the previous instructional video, which inherited some of its settings from them. Close Preferences and then move to Portfolio Manager. Select the portfolio and click Edit Portfolio. Under the Name field, you can rename the portfolio, and the target directory will be automatically updated. The settings in the General tab control whether the portfolio is to be updated, whether data corrections are to be applied, whether expired contracts in Nearest Futures Group entries are to be deleted, and how many blank records to include when there are calendar gaps in the data, which is rare. Also, there's a setting to limit the dates of the output of all series contained in the portfolio. The settings in the Ranging tab and Rounding tab were inherited from General Preferences, but can be changed here for application to this portfolio only. The Displaying Data settings are set here for the portfolio, saved as defaults when creating future portfolios. You may select to use CSI symbols or use two character symbols, which with futures markets may be what some exchanges use. The display as decimal setting is typically set by default and desired. The back adjusting, aggregate files, optional settings, and historical adjustments settings were all inherited from general preferences, but can also be changed here for application to this portfolio only. The rest of the settings in the Portfolio Manager pertain to export file formatting that you have chosen. ASCII and Excel formatting have a high degree of customization, whereas CSI and metastock formatting are strict in the way the data is presented to it. Let's briefly review some of the ASCII Excel options available. In the ASCII Excel section, you can specify whether to include holiday or weekend records in your exported data, and what data you would like used in these records. There are other settings to use to further instruct what is contained in these files. The ASCII Excel Fields section instructs UA as to what data fields to use in the export files, how to format the date, and what delimiter to use between the fields. The ASCII Excel Files section instructs UA as to what naming convention to use when naming your exported files, and what file extension to use. There are other options here, which are self-explanatory. Under the CSI and Metastock Format tab are defaults for exporting CSI formatted files that are to be imported by other third-party software. Now that we've covered the settings involved with customizing a portfolio, we'll cancel out of here and move on to some other features. If we were to click OK, UA would then move through your portfolio and apply all change settings to your file exports. The Import Vendor Portfolio option allows the user to import symbols based on which third-party software you plan to use. Just click on the one you wish to import, and UA will load the symbols and settings the third-party software expects to see. UA also provides the ability to import other portfolios, whether UA or any other format, under the Import Custom Portfolio option. Here you can import custom portfolios that may be in a different location. Navigate to the ASCII import. Let's import a symbol list as an example. To do this, select Browse. Navigate to the symbol list location, choose it, and select Import. This will bring up an option to confirm file details. Select OK, and the new symbols will be highlighted in blue, and there'll be an option to build the exported database. To complete the database, click Yes. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're just going to move back to the next Import Custom Portfolio feature. In order to build a new portfolio from existing file formats, you have three choices: MS Directory, CSI Directory, or CSIM Directory. Clicking on any of these options allows you to browse for their folders. The last Import Custom Portfolio option is Stock Index Components. UA allows you to create portfolios that contain all the stocks that make up a number of available indices. Choose Stock Index Components, navigate to the appropriate index, and click OK. A new portfolio will be created for that index. Click OK, confirm portfolio details, and the new symbols will populate the portfolio. We're not going to build the exported portfolios now, but if you want to continue, click Yes. And finally, one feature UA provides for you to monitor the continuous contracts you may add to your portfolio is a continuous contract roll schedule. Click the orange check icon next to the binoculars. Select the portfolio you want to scan, and click OK. This report tells how many trading days are left before a scheduled roll, according to the roll settings you specified for each symbol. This report can be exported to Excel, ASCII, or printed. This has been an advanced overview of UA's Portfolio Manager. We hope that it's helped better orient you with our product.